Right. So very good morning, all of you. So both online, offline. So online too started joining. Shared the link. So any doubts of previous sessions before we getting into today's issues? So one fact is very clear now. AP groups, right? On the way. Okay. So the slight change in the pattern of the group one. So how many of you are writing? All are AP only. Hmm. Hmm. So most of them are AP now, batch, present batch. Anyhow, for us only one thing is we need to take the advantage of this announcements. That's only should be in our mindset, nothing else. Okay. No other, I can say, distractions, especially political related. We are least bothered about why they are giving what were right, their intentions and everything things. The notification, and we need to crack it. And beauty of it is when it comes to the current affairs, again, right? Specifically announced this time 25 questions, isn't it? Of course, bifurcation we may not be then this, whether national, international, but I'm sure that recent trends clearly shows that almost all sharing 50% each, plus or minus. And when the polity was kept as the mains, the to descriptive, it's not in the objective now, right? So your approach should be slightly different. It's something like even from the beginning, it's the mains approach. Though either to whatever we are doing the same thing, but still now your focus should be more on descriptive answer writing rather than just uh, solving the multiple choice questions. And again, the ethics was added in this, which, if you trend this recent civil services examinations, or for that matter, previous group one, it's all the current issues again, governing issues most often. And appropriately adds the descriptive mode again. Appropriately, you have to quote, you have to, right? To quote the latest happenings in and around it. You have to resolve that. Then, of course, the new thing added, right? National security angle, which is civil service. So finally, you don't find much of difference of civil service and the groups. Only the pattern slightly changes. And as the elections are fastly approaching, I'm sure that at least okay notification will be issued shortly, and prelims also will be conducted in the month of Jan, February, right? So that assume it if regular elections in the month of May, your exam process will be over. If it's fast forward, at least one stage will be over. So hoping the best. So get up and polity related this sort of things, make note of it. And today's newspaper, okay, this is a today's only the Hindu, the government can't sit on the bills passed by the house. So the Supreme Court came up heavily on what the governors may use the word indifferent attitude, okay, towards the state governments concerned. Here, the constitutional point is very clear, a number of times we discussed, and especially now that polity is in descriptive for the group 1 mains. If at all this sort of question arises, what is your approach? From where you will start? Where you will justify these things? Where will criticize the role of the governor? Why you are making the governor bound by the decision of the Council of Ministers? Bound by the, now Supreme Court also clearly stated, right? Apart from this, the other day, uh, that is the governor can't doubt, okay, he can't doubt the validity of the assembly sessions also, okay, when the assembly session call, that's it. You can't say this will be held, not held, okay, whether legally something is concerned. So it's crystal clear the role of the governor is restricted. Why? The fact, the basic fact, always you have to keep in mind whenever, right, whenever asking, go through the school textbooks. Now that you finish your graduations, post graduations, PhDs, but still we are asking them to prepare for, or especially focused on the school textbooks. Why? Okay, at least 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, or sometimes there are the few people, a few days back, a student came from the 6th class social books onwards. So just tell me, it's a ticket miss are important things, 6th, 7th onwards. Why? Fundamentals. The basics are there. No doubt we learned already. But now the advantage is as you studied already once upon a time, and now it become very easy also for you, okay, to know those things. You will quickly recollect the things, and at the same time it will be imprinted in your mind. So when it's been imprinted, at the time of examination, automatically you will recollect. It's not imprinted, recollecting become a tougher job. You have to struggle for that. The reason why when the focus on the school textbooks is important. And this sort of things, why it is, the basic you have to understand is ours is a parliamentary system. Again, when he says the government systems, there are two types. One is parliamentary, another is presidential. So in a presidential, the president is all powerful. Only president is a real executive. So when you say this president is only real, so when you use the word only, that draw the conclusion that here you will find both. You have the nominal head as well as the real head. Two heads are here. Here only one head, right? No two. Here the two. The collectivity is involved. The process. So we call this nominal head of the state as nominal and head of the government as real. In India, we are calling the head of the state as president, whereas in Britain, which is the mother of parliaments, we call it as whom? King or queen. Wherever the monarchy system is there, it will be. Okay? And Britain, all the institutions started there. Okay, why we have that system? If you question, it's the institution started from the Britain. Their conditions prompted. Have you heard the Magna Carta? What is that? Which year? Your history? 1215. Magna Carta. Great Charter. Okay? The people force the king to sign on a paper. Because either to the king is a dictator. Okay, king is a march of God on earth, declared the Jones, right? So he's a representative of God himself used to say. So people has to obey. But a point came, people revolted and forced the king, apart from others, not to impose a single paisa as a tax without the consent of the people. Then how the people will be represented? Okay, the leaders should be there, isn't it? So initially chosen few, and they used to sit in the cabin, small cabin. So as the cabinet came, as a collective, one is the head. So they started calling ministers, then one is the PM, Prime Minister. That's how the Walpole became the first Prime Minister in the world itself. It just happened. Now, whatever this cabinet says, the king has to follow. So they become real, they become nominal. A monarchy which is based on the authoritarianism, a democracy, is not at all there, right? When you say authoritarianism, whatever the king will rule according to his whims and fancies. He will not take the people's opinion into consideration. Now he has to take. And second aspect is that after the king died, long live the king. That is what in Britain we have the concept. King is dead, long live the king. That means another, his successor will come as the king. Son or the daughter. Okay, the succession issue is there. You don't have the place for the people there. Now, once the people started involving, they said, okay, you be there. We don't mind, but be nominal. You have to function according to our system. That's how monarchy, democracy was combined in Britain. So it's called as constitutional monarchy. Once in civil services, after this, the first country adopted constitutional monarchy. Sometimes a different way they ask this question. Okay. Same thing you will find for a number of years right now in Japan, the same thing. Then similarly, Nepal till 2015, we have the same constitutional monarchy. Now that completely republic that is. So once you have the system, then later they started why nominal why it is. Then this when America became independent, United States of America, right? 13 independent countries come together and form a bigger one. They feel is one is sufficient. The president is sufficient. No need for both. Why? Again, their conditions. Okay? Demanded the federal structure is a loose union of states. Just they want a coordinator, head to all. As Washington successfully led the battle against the Britain, 1776, you be the president for that. And learning the lessons from all the things, let be when every state is free on its own and the state should run on the people's will and wish. So a democracy with one head. That's how the presidential system originated. Then other countries are following the system accordingly. And there, in the present system, once they jogged out only, they based on the concept of separation of powers. Separating the three organs of the government. What are those? Three organs: legislature, executive, judiciary. So legislature function on its own. Lawmaking, it has to be implemented by some other body, and whether laws made, implemented, are in tune with the letter and spirit of the constitution or not will be decided by the judiciary. A structure was made by Americans. Again, they got it from the Britain again. How the Britain in the course of time, that is 1215, 1776, see that number of years. They learned the lessons from the history. And Montesquieu's theory of separation of powers was taken as the basis. So then the people's views will be addressed. People's opinion will be taken care. People are really sovereign. Not what John Locke says, people are sovereign. I mean, Rousseau mainly talked about, right? Popular sovereignty when he said people are sovereign only on the day of election. Okay, once the voting is there, right, you are giving 5 years the power for them. What you have. So now the government has to function these 5 years properly. Just 4 years properly, 6 years, whatever be the time frame adopted by that country's constitution. And if all powers is concentrated, power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts, absolutely. So keeping the trend very much in mind, they said, let you separate America. Why? Because American learned that these two once became one, which are happening in Britain. Executive is drawn from legislature. That is the ministers, cabinet, they are the members of the parliament. In Britain, the party was evolved. If one party is in command, they only, the ministers, they only the majority party. So automatically that became a party dictatorship. Okay? Party command became more. Which are the party commands? If it is absolute majority, like 2/3, 3/4 majority, no one is going to stop their whims and fancies, their likes and dislikes. So that become authoritarian, which you are witnessing in India now. Wherever whichever party is in absolute majority, just for sake of stability is very good. But when come to the democratic spirits, they are taking away. Isn't it? So a system here the demanded like this. When India became independent, we adopted no doubt because we habituated, and this concept we included very much in the constitution. Judiciary must be separated from the executive. Article 15 clearly stated that. That clearly shows that yes, it requires. Otherwise, okay, a party dictatorship will become rather than a rule of the nation. When the political parties evolved, getting the majority, and in Indian context, when the nominal head at the state level, central level president, and the state level we have the governor, and here the PM and the CM, the word shall was used by, in the beginning, do you have this? President shall bound by the advice of Council of Ministers. Governor shall bound by the advice of the Council of Ministers, headed by CM here, PM there. Previously, it is not there. Only 42nd Amendment added that word shall. Now we don't have an option. Okay? Only one thing is that when the bills, now that issue is entirely, governor's role is controversial regarding the bills. So once the bills come to the, bills become acts, right? Only after the consent of governor. So once it come to the governor, governor can sign, no problem. Governor can send it back for reconsideration, so that with or without amendments anything, or governor can reserve the bill to the president. Options are there. As you don't have the power to reject, okay, options is very much is there. So when you send it back for reconsideration, second time he has to sign, isn't it? And reserving the bill for the president, cool for the governor. He throw the ball into the other court. Right? It is up to the president to accept or reject. There are in certain compulsions wherein governor has to send the bill to the president, reserve the bill, like wherever center state laws are in clash, touching the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court, High Courts, or other states' issues, or any issue that is satisfied by the governor. That itself is sufficient. That is very subjective. If you feel there is a controversy, something in depth required, so you can reserve for that matter any bill to the thing is concerned for the governor. Governor can reserve the bill to the president. The moment you do this, yes, now the president has an option of veto. He can enjoy. President can reject. Okay, so the constitution stipulated very much wonderfully the structure. Only one flaw, because always, right, whenever I am talking about in every law, unfortunately, the two things are there. One is restrictions, limitations are there in every law. That means otherwise it called some sort of star mark is there on every law. Conditions apply. No law is absolute. Second one is in every law there is a flaw. In every law there is a flaw if you take anything into consideration in one form or another. And these criminal brains look into that only. Okay? Always where the flaws are. And here the flaw is that the governor has to sign as early as possible. The flaw in this case is as early as possible. So when you use the word he has to sign as early as possible, who will decide? It becomes a discretion for the governor. It becomes a discretion. Okay? Okay, I'm studying, looking. When the time frame is not there, that is a problem. Okay? And I can apply for you also. You are studying. If there is no exam date, and if you don't have the timetable of the day, and I'm sure that, okay, studying, dekenge. Right? That goes on. Postpone. Procrastination. Okay? Let us see tomorrow. We don't know when that tomorrow will come. There's a continuous process. Whereas if you have the deadline, okay, by 1 hour, 60 minutes, right? I had to finish this. By within this day, closing before I sleep by 9 p.m. or 11 p.m. or you may say midnight, I should do this. If you have the target time bound, it is entirely different. That's what your preparation should be specific. It should be measurable. That means how much you studied, you should know. Forget about the other thing is concerned. And time bound. The time bound is very important. Otherwise, we don't know. Right? Always will be there. And here it's the same thing. Same thing fate with anti-defection law. Right? When the speaker issue arises, he will take the time. There no time frame was given. Even if some MLA MP resign, it's not a must on speaker to accept immediately or reject immediately. No time frame was given. Okay? Whereas for everything you will give the time frame. Now see the elections. Result, right? All the things is concerned, date and everything, right? In tune with the timing. Yesterday, heavy rush because, yes, the deadline. So deadlines only inspire you. Deadlines only the motivate you. Deadlines are what we call drivers. Okay? They are the driving force. Otherwise, everybody will be relaxed. So keep a deadline for you as well. That's the most important thing. And unfortunately, in this flaw, when there is no deadline, then the thing happen. Oh, Aparna, Swati, Samuel, and all the things, right? They are mentioning about the things. They're good answers. So, this, as the deadline was not mentioned, so the problem now. So, now the governors are trying to irritate the chief ministers, not in every state. They're selective, where central government is one part in power, whereas state is in another. Wherever the other part in power, there, unfortunately, they are creating excluding AP. So wonderful relations. Okay, they are having it up. So exceptions here and there. Maybe it's a role model we have to take. Okay, so AP is a role model. Wonderful. So we have to take the thing is concerned. All of the states that have. So we need to arrange one guest lecture by Jaganji to all okay chief ministers. How to deal with? Huh? Jagan is Jagan, right? So whoever be the concern is concerned. Okay, so that they will get the things done. So the constitutional position is very clear, and I don't know how far is an appropriate. తెలుగులో ఒక పదం ఉంది సునకానందం అని. What is that? Yeah. So it is looking like this. Finally, governor can do nothing. Why delay? Okay. Here, when Tamilisai issue is very clear, when Telangana state government approached the Supreme Court, before the hearing of the Supreme Court, she cleared everything and stated I cleared. So that clearly shows that the intentions, the hidden agenda of the governors. That clearly shows what they stated, what unstated. There's inexplicable gap. Hidden agenda is there. They are the agent of the party in power, not in the thing. Even unfortunately, that's what the critical part is concerned. They're agents of the party. Like no, every polling booth agent is there. So they're degrading their honorary positions on a flimsy grounds. Okay. If at all they have something else, simply reject. Simply send it to the president. Or even who is stopping them to approach the court? Tell it in the concern, right? It's not appropriate. And so far, no governors filed a case. Who is stopping them? Is the constitution is debarring? Governor, on behalf of governor, he should not file anything else. If something is there, court is there. Plus, constitution has given another article 143. What is that? 143. Seeking the advice of the Supreme Court by the president. Governor cannot, because as he is the representative of the president, let him approach the Supreme Court what to do. Simple. Right? If really you are serious, invoke the Article 143 with the help of the president. Who is stopping? So they refuse to look into the alternatives. Okay? So it is something like a constitutional mayhem, a constitutional anarchy. Okay? Not only letter and the spirit of the constitution was what you call digged into the soil. Okay? So this was unfortunately, and now finally the court wished to come up heavily on this one. So if at all the mains point of view, I think this appropriate thing I feel is good enough for you. A battery on non-BJP ruled state. What is battery? Not our charging batteries. A legal term for the battery. Huh? Battery, assault, right? Hmm. So look into, because there's a few words and something when it use the words, advisable to look into the Google and Google it, okay? And you know everything else as, okay? So when they approaching the Supreme Court, accuse the governor of using a non-existent discretion. This is the most important, very critical word indeed. Discretionary powers the governor enjoys as per the constitution, because appointing the CM, removing the CM, then sending the reserving the bill for the consideration of president, or imposing president's rule, recommending the imposition of president's rule. In that context, no need for him to seek the advice of the council of ministers. So, if the governor function on his own without the aid and advice of the council of ministers, that's nothing but discretionary powers. Discretionary powers was deliberately assigned by the constitution with the governor, and they stated what are they. And this sort of things is unstated, non-existent discretion to unreasonably delay. Another crucial word, because your word matters in the mains. Okay, word power, appropriate word appropriately. You have to summarize everything with that. Later, if word limit permits, then you may explain everything. You can state it in passing the crucial bill into law here. Okay, because finally, bills to become the law is required. So till they are in this form. And right now, the few bills examples they are given related to public health, higher education, Lokayukta, cooperative societies issues are there. So these are all crucial things. They're the governance issues. So governance is at stake now. So what governor is doing? Of course, here the constitution, the articles related to the governor advisable, and this article 20 specifically outline this process for a bill to be passed by assembly, as well as getting the consent of the governor. Okay, all the things will be there in this part is concerned. So here it's very clear. Just now we said is, when is either you can give the assent, withhold the assent, reserve the bill for the consideration of the president, or when you say this, return the bill with a message requesting to reconsider as such. And 201, of course, this is relating to when the reserved the consideration of president. President may assent or withhold assent. That clearly shows he is having power of veto. This the same thing was nothing to do. This is nothing but the veto power. Okay, absolute veto. Otherwise, we call it. No need to send it back for reconsideration. Or the president, of course, may direct the governor to return the bill to the house. Options are there. So only one option, which I stated now, 143, is not mentioned by the constitution. But using your common sense, you can do so. Because if you want to solve the problem, there a solution is always available. When you don't have an intention to solve, rather than create a problem, there end the matter. Isn't it? So your intention is to create, not to resolve. Okay? Then who will respect you? Wait for the time. Isn't it? And of course, finally, being the guardian of the constitution, now that with judicial activism, where not only the letter, the spirit of the constitution also taken into consideration, and court will raise the case. If the court directs now, what governor can do? Nothing. Has to. There are innumerable occasions, especially in regarding anti-defection law or regarding calling the sessions, okay, or conducting no confidence motions, okay, by the governor or the speakers not able to do properly. The finally the court come up with and court made them to do so. So only now the credible institutions, the court we have to look into. Though similarly, when looking at those past cases, in the Shamsher Singh case verdict, upheld this governor exercised all his powers and functions conferred on him by or under the constitution on the aid and advice. It's clearly mentioned. Aid and council ministers, save in spheres where governor is required to under the constitution to exercise function in his discretion. So the same thing was stated in a different way. So the assent or return of the bill not involve discretion. The court very clearly stated to give the consent or not is not a discretion. As it is not, and court is very clear on that, you can't do anything else. Okay. So that's what the constitutional discretion. Just now when I stated, so one is when they have to reserve the bill for the consideration of the president, governor need not seek the advice, and when he's an additional charge as administrator of the union territory, he can take actions at his own discretion again, because this concerned state, you need not. Now, for example, Tamil Sai is also additional charge as a lieutenant governor of Puducherry. Need not bound by the advice of the KCR cabinet here. Nothing to do. She can take that matters on her own. And when he calls upon the CM to seek information regarding administration, yeah, that can be done. Okay, governor has every right to seek the information. Okay, and they have to do that. And when he has recommended for the president's rule, he can act as his own. And when he has to determine the amount payable by the government of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram to an autonomous tribal districts. Why here? Which schedule? Yeah, whatever be in the sixth schedule. There, the lot of discretionary powers of the governors is given. So deliberately, when the constitution says, you can make use of it. Why otherwise? Is a bigger question mark. Then similarly, when the situational discretion is there, so regarding appointing a chief minister, especially when no party has a clear majority, otherwise you don't have an option, and dismisses the council of ministers and does see him otherwise, that is when he feels that this is the thing again misused all the way, and dissolve the state assembly on time when it loses majority. So when the thing is concerned, already lost the existing government. So instead of waiting somebody to take over, yes, he can do so. So like this, the few discretionary powers at this concern. Then again, in another case, in a Durga Prasad Ghosh versus State Bengal, Supreme Court, as soon as possible in Article 20 mean as early as practicable without avoidable delay. Even long back, this is not the new thing. In 72 itself, the court interpreted. Only court was restrained from giving specific time. Okay. As early as this word, right? Practicable. Without avoidable delay. Okay. Sometimes it's unavoidable. That's a different issue. But wherever it is, it can be done. Then, now that recently when the Punjab government, now still this is the issue is going on, Supreme Court stated, governors should not be oblivious of the fact that they are not elected by the people. So elected, you have to give the due respect. When the Kiran Bedi, right? No doubt, one time, two time, we can appreciate few things, but you can't be the dictator. You may suggest, advise the ruling party if necessary, or you may make them to work sometimes, but not all the time, or against the will and wish of the people get elected. So that point also stressed by the Supreme Court now. And the Sarkari Commission, which looked into center-state relations, clearly stated also on this one. Okay, reports center-state relations suggested consultation with the governor while drafting the bill and fixing a deadline for his disposal. So they made this word deadline. Okay, Sarkari Commission, in which year? Appointed 1983. So by Mrs. Indira Gandhi, then okay, when the at that time, right, one of the issue is also right. Telugu Desam Party just originated NTR, okay, and all the, okay, the innumerable states started ruling by non-Congress parties. So they started demanding more powers. Then a commission was appointed, and that commission is also because the governor's role is very crucial. Okay, and N.T. Ramarao was dismissed by the governor without testing the majority on the floor of the house. So we have to do something is so the deadline has to be. Narendra Bhaskara becomes CM for a month. 1 month it is. Hmm. So that also. So we are quoting the cases to substantiate our point of view. So here the two judgments of Supreme Court was quoted, Sarkari Commission was quoted, now the recent Punjab issue was quoted. So that's how your present the answer will get credibility. Okay? By appropriately quoting the authoritative sources. Anything. Then you will get more marks in this one. So like this all the time. So take care. See that. Okay? Whatever the things getting happen will be substantiated, will be addressed, will be drafted even by you, your answer properly. Okay? So that all the angles will be covered. So any doubts on this, Governor? Then of course, another issue, a controversial too it become. So Moitra case. What is this case called? Uh, Cash for query. Okay. Cash for query. Query is question. So to ask the question also you are taking the money. That's what it implies. So real or not is a question, but that has to be investigated and finally done. So first time even we get surprised. Oh, MLAs, MPs also take the quid pro quo. Okay. So why should I ask the question on behalf of somebody? Okay. So something in written. Quid pro quo is okay. So in the law, always they said there's a consideration should be there in transactions. Okay. Then only it is a legally binding. Otherwise not. Consider me something in return. If you give, if the, for example, a parent gifted a property to the child, it won't be considered as a contract. It's out of love and affection is gifted, isn't it? But whereas, even if it is 1 crore property you are giving for 1 rupee, that itself is okay. How much consideration is next question? Something in return. So immediately I recollected. This is thinking is concerned when the being the public servants, okay, MLAs or MPs, they have to ventilate the problems of the people, discuss them and point the solution. They are bound by it, their duty. But here, seeking something in return, whether the money form or some other gifts or some other contract, something, negotiating is unethical. So definitely in our ethics, right, you have the main okay, groups one, the specific topic, and you can quote this in number of questions. Okay, one example is concerned. What is ethical? Something good for the humanity in general. Whatever you do it should benefit the humanity in general, not personal. If not, it's not ethical. If any personal agenda for you, personal benefit, that is self benefit, self satisfactions, is unethical. Now governors are doing for self satisfaction or satisfying their party in power, party belongs, is an unethical. Okay, like that you can link these governance issues also on the ethical and ethics in governance. That is actually the topic name, isn't it? So you may put it here. So here, once allegations were made, that has to be looked into the and parliament. A number of committee systems are there. When the committees are specialized in that field, so that speedily they will discuss and submit the report to the parliament. Then again, parliament will take the final call. Committee report is not final, is not treated as the judgment of the parliament or decision of the parliament. Okay, only thing it has to be done, submitted. So acting on this is very very important. In 99% of the cases, they will bound by the recommendations of the committees. Only in few cases, 1 to 10% maximum, they will not adhere to the committee reports. Okay, again, convenient of the government will be taken into consideration. So here the ethics committee recommended that she will be suspended from the parliament. One was recommended, but at the same time said whether taken the money or not. Cash for query. If cash taken, where is that cash? How much? And it's raised both of it said, sorry, we don't have that wherewithal, no infrastructure, and ordered for investigation by the CBI or somebody. And big question mark arising is, very question is cash for query. The first aspect, whether taken or not, when you don't have the evidence, how we will take the decision is the big question mark. They should have waited for, order for, waited for, right? The thing. And second point, apart from this, it raised this, and that's very important actually. National security issue. Question is cash for query. Why the national security issue was involved there? Here, now, when this, right, our your Gmail, mail, for even your phone, everything has its own passwords queries. And some are having phone opening one code, WhatsApp another code, Facebook another code. Is good in that. So for everything, there's one code. Okay. సో ఏదో తెలుగులో మాంత్రికుడు కథ ఉన్నట్టు పెట్ట ఊతల మాంత్రికుడు వితల మాంత్రికుడు. సో ఇట్స్ వెరీ టఫ్ టు గెట్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ఎ వే. సో so the inside the issue when it come to the thing is concerned, national security is a broader concept, no doubt. But anyhow, once your passwords given to somebody, known to somebody, even need not be given, right? There's every possibility they will make use of it. Okay? And you can't deny that also. Except if you change the password. That option is there. Okay? So, when it came to the light very clearly that it was opened number of times, more than 100 plus times in UAE. At the time she is not there, she is in India. So that clearly shows is operated from elsewhere. Why? So, official secrecy, especially the lawmakers, demand certain things. So, once they get the draft for suggestions, they can suggest. They need not seek the advice of somebody, isn't it? Or if they seek somebody's advice, it should be confidential. So, if the other person come to know about the policy of the government before in hand, and now this real estate mafia, no, you saw it very clearly. Now this Amaravati, all the scams are relating to that only. They have the prior knowledge. With that, they get benefited. Others are no prior knowledge. They will not be benefited out of it. So, has to be address all those issues. And that is the major issue. Perhaps based on this, ethics committee has asked us first suspend her from the membership. Let us see now, speaker will take the call, how we will respond. Okay. Now that Aadhaar system came, yet your biometric, your eyes, asked. And it is not the new thing. It was used by somebody only. Rarely these people use it. The practical problem is that. So for everything is an example. So much of love with you on this. Anyhow, as the target is always the opposition, we have anything else is be there. So let us look into this, the various privileges the members of the parliament enjoys, and the committees, various committees and roles of the different committees advisable to look into in this scenario. Then another one, of course, in Bihar, okay, now the reservation quota, they wish to increase to 65, of course, plus 10 if you add, that becomes 75, right? Is concerned. So, when initially the constitutional makers thought of, in the course of time, reservation should wither away, disappear. Okay? So that everybody will come on to the streams. Now it's the reverse thing is happening. Let us reserve everything. Okay? Maybe good. So we don't know that. Let us reserve everything. But according to what? So one of the criteria now very much on this, according to the population. Not according to merit, not according to skill, not according to any other criteria. Okay? According to the size of the population. Let you reserve. So that no problem now. Simple criteria, no complications will be done. So let us conduct the census, and people are divided on religious and caste lines, and on that basis it is. So the bigger question, if the mains point of view look at, in what angle it is moving. Is it integration or disintegration? Is it social justice? Means is this or something else to be interpreted? Isn't it? So like this, the issues are there a lot. But anyhow, as the reservation issue is very controversial, there are 50% of the people who argue for and 50% of the people who argue against. Isn't it? There's no ending for the debate. Only from exam point of view, we have to take into consideration is only one thing. Which states opted this? Okay. Going beyond the Supreme Court stipulated 50%. In which case Supreme Court stipulated? Indra Sahani case, clearly stated. But unfortunately, Supreme Court itself said it is flexible. Isn't it? In recent EWS reservation case, economically. So flexibility means now why can't it be? If EWS, why can't others? Logically, it's right. So now reserve everything. That's the only solution. Reserve everything. There's nothing like this. Open. Let us undo the open category. No open category should be there. Okay? Let us reserve everything. That's the only thing is concerned. That's what in the population criteria, 100% reservation. Then only it will be justified. If the open category exists, again, this is the problem. Okay? It's a practical problem for everybody also. And advantage for the reserved sections. Okay? No doubt about that. So let it be 100% based on the population. Now, I think all political parties are marching towards this. Another within 10 years, it will come 100% reservation based on this. So let us hope, see how it be. So last time we discussed in detail about this caste survey. Okay, instead of caste census, they called it a survey. Now, based on this, every state government is doing it. And already Tamil Nadu government is implementing this. It's 69%. How? It got an exemption. It was kept in the ninth schedule of the Constitution. So when you kept something in the ninth schedule of the Constitution, what it means? Those are beyond judicial review. That can't be striked off. Okay. So now the demand is that other state laws also should be there, kept. Even Telangana included 4% for Muslims. So why can't you include that? Now they are planning to increase to how much? Now 12%, no? Now promise for 12%. 4% to 12%, yeah. TRS, BRS. SC is also increasing, 7% to 10 or 12? 6 to 10, already. SC is as it is. ST is up to 10. It is gone up to 10. So like this is going on this one. Let it be reserved for everybody, either on caste ground or religious ground. There end the matter. Okay, nobody will fight anybody. No, if that be the case. So those issues also you have to take into consideration and also. Then of course, when everybody is feeling this is like this, we have another fake game. Huh? So whoever has the command, or play with the system, software, right? Crazy. This will do that. Anyhow, when you say this, deep fake, deep learning, but utilizing the fake and replacing one person's likeness or convincing with that of another as it is, right? Even when you're looking the video, you never feel it. It is a fake. It looks as if it's real. At least if morphing was done on general system, you are able to trace it. If you closely zoom it and everything, you can. Okay, but in this, the two moving one, is very difficult indeed to distinguish this one. So here, it violates what constitutional right? Your very Article 21, right to life, you have to lead your life according to your convenience. Right to life, and what is another word? Personal liberty. That word is very, very important. Okay? Your choice. That's what, no, in the beginning when you are discussing, when the personal liberty, what to eat, what not to eat is my choice. What to wear, what not to wear is my choice. Like this, everything will come over this. Okay? What profession to be done, what not to be, everything now become the choice. Personal choice, and privacy become a fundamental. That means everything moving around the concept of consent. Okay? Single point is that your consent is important. You should agree. That's enough. Once you agree, everything is over. If you don't agree, you can't force anybody in whatever format. either by putting the gun point or by undue influence that is threatening, or by fraud or misrepresentation or by mistake. You can't do anything. Consent is essential. When the consent is there, number of things disappears, isn't it? You are interested there in the matter. But here, without the consent, if you do anything, naturally, right? Even no, can you post your friends' photographs in a Facebook or in the things without their consent? General things we may not be. Even you can't take the photographs also. Forget about boy to girl or girl to boy. Person is important here. Okay? If I protested, don't post this post till you post it, there end the matter. You are going against. Okay? Because posting in the social media, now it becomes the public. It's not personal. If you take the photograph, that is with you only, no problem. At least. Once you post it, there end the matter. And vis-a-vis the girls is concerned, very careful in this. Okay. So as this privacy consent became the fundamental, it is. Now recent Supreme Court also stated, no, regarding recording the wife's conversation. You can't do that. There is also amount to cruelty. And vice versa. Not only wife's conversation, wife recording the husband's conversation. It amount to cruelty. Anything. Okay? The spouse related parties. That is what, when evidence, again we have to look into that's a real or fake. Already, of course, once upon a time, court never used to take this into consideration. But recently they started taking. Now again is a big question mark. Whether AI, even we don't know that is the AI generated or not generated. Okay. Recently I received what do you call a CV. Okay. Number of jobs, somebody came with this in this concern. And in my absence, that was left in the office, then I said, looking at this, okay, wonderful, right? Wording and everything, the way presentation. Anyway, required, we call for the interview. And when started, that person is not able to say a single English word properly, but written wonderfully. Then immediately I said, okay, done. So he's smart. My first thought that came is, he's smart. Then I said, thank you very much, we'll inform you that. Say, you generated, right? Now what is the chart? Simply, right? By giving it, you will get it things. So you are not using your minds. So what is real, what is fake, even very difficult to distinguish indeed. Okay. So that has to be addressed properly. And though we have the IT Act, but still that has to be strengthened further. And this is what we call is the guns, that is generative adversarial networks. Okay, you are using on this ones is concerned. And right now, not only in entertainment, okay, education, activism, in other fields also it get used. And pornographic, then face swapping, all the things, okay, will be in this. And possibility of scams, celebrity pornographs, election manipulations, overall social engineering, automated disinformation, identity of the theft. Again, that's very crucial. And financial frauds. Anything may happen now if you don't. The reason why now, that's what, no, you are impersonating these notable personalities on these issues also. Okay. So you have to address this. Instead of undoing, what now the court said, or for anybody, is you have to regulate. Now in the world over, every country is coming up with regulating the AI related technology. America recently come up, Britain already, European Union like this, and though we have IT acts, but still we need to strengthen that further. Okay. So right now the MeitY is looking into, what is that MeitY? Ministry of uh, hmm, hmm. So IT Act 2000, then IT Rules 2021. So these two right now dealing with these issues. And O section 66D, okay, who cheats by personating using a communication device or computer source can be punished. Okay. Similarly, O31B7 also used to with this. So like this, we have certain rules and regulations, but still that need to be addressed. And AI is named as the Collins word of the year 2023. Now that become the thing. Now everybody is after that. Even in WhatsApp messages, I have number of time thing you wanted to learn AI. Okay, make it spot, right? Everything. Number of institutes also came up. You can learn AI ready to deliver in a way. So that will become the most what you call, not just a crazy word in a way. No option. I think it looks like in future you have to, right? And being administrators, we have to be more criminal than criminals. Okay. Uh, so you have to aware of all the things. Okay. And this fake, when this AI is going on, another fake arise. The Urvi Javid was booked for defaming Mumbai police with the help of fake arrest. Say all either two, we are this fake, deep fake. Now fake arrest also. Huh? It's something like the movie. Okay, the Mumbai police came in the jeep and taken her. The thing is this. So initially, but not inappropriate dress. There is a case they filed in a way, and that become fake. So when something was done, I don't know why, how the thoughts will come. So in what sort of criminal mindsets they have, we have to think over. Okay. So this craziness has no limits. Craziness become madness. The thing is concerned. Now it crossed the limits, isn't it? That can't be tolerated at all. At least for individual when this and this you are doing, now directly you are attacking the authorities, faking them, right? So how much guts required to do it in a way? So very unfortunate in this one. And that's the reason why perhaps the national security is become very crucial, and national security strategy for India is coming up now. Hitherto we don't have proper, is the first national security strategy the India is about to, now this is in the process. And by our examination, right, the group one, now the national security was specially mentioned, and sure that that need to be addressed all the way. Then of course, quick closure. Already the Russia finally came out from the CTBT, Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty. So last session we discussed in detail, just to go through once on this one. So officially Russia out, came out from that one. Then of course, International Solar Alliance Assembly was held. So recently it has taken a number of decisions, go through once again about this one. So it's a apex decision making body of ISA. What is ISA? Yeah, Solar Alliance is an initiative of India and France, and in the COP27 it was generated, and right now 116 countries are in this. So, yeah, as it happened in Delhi, the thing is concerned. Okay, so go through this International Solar Alliance. Then, of course, now the Israel wanted to undo all Palestinians, asked Indian workforce to be there, and along with Israel, the Taiwan also requesting India to send another 1 lakh. So we may not get jobs in India, but other countries they are ready to take Indians in everywhere else, right? So let us hope the best in one form than another. Okay, the jobless India we required, and entire world, right? The Indians may spread over in this one. Then, of course, Sri Lanka is in debt trap again. India coming to the rescue. So recently, it informed to the IMF that what again India was the first nation to give IMF its letter of support for funding and debt restructuring vis-a-vis with concern. So you need not worry as such. So that as part of our neighborhood first policy, rendering the helping hand to the needy, okay, we are going ahead towards rescuing not only the people, even the countries. Then, of course, Sri Lanka, when it come, unfortunate or fortunate, Sri Lankan cricket suspended by the ICC for stating that the government is involving in its activity. It's supposed to be autonomous body. Then again, Chief Information Commissioner was appointed, Hiralal Samaria, because for a long time this post is vacant. Now finally done. Then, of course, regarding Supreme Court judgment, the surrogate mothers now can claim the maternity leave. Previously, it is not there because as surrogacy is not accepted once upon a time, even later we accepted, but now commercial surrogacy was put off. So, maternity related, yes, now that can be availed. So, that will be done. Similarly, criminal contempt of court. Here, a person, a death penalty for sitting high court judge. So, once your comment is against the judgment, but it's crossed the Lakshmana Rekha and considered it. So, the contempt of court orders was issued. Similarly, now the Diwali is coming. Court observed that it should be of festival of light, not of noise. Okay, now that Delhi is in problem it is, and some states stopped manufacturing crackers, all the thing. So keep in mind, Supreme Court also come up with banning firecrackers. Is it every firecracker? Only chemical. Which chemical? What is the name of the? Ah, very good. Barium salt. Okay, that you have to be in this. So as it is banned chemicals, they should not be used. Okay, so no total ban, only by this barium salt. So best option is don't go for noise, just with this and best thing only you and me can do nothing. Only government in the process of manufacturing itself it stop. Okay, individually we are helpless. Okay, at the level of manufacturing it should be addressed. And when the government failed to do, stop it, and government only should take the responsibility. Even now we are drafting a small thing to file a bill regarding this fake currencies are coming, and if I got the fake note, assume it, so I'm losing. If the 500, I'm losing 500, right? No bank is taking, no bank is concerned. That means who is responsible? Am I? I received from somebody. It came in the note. How it be? So why can't you make liable this government for failure its duty? Okay, the criminal negligence. So under it we are just drafting, and shortly we may put the thing is concerned. So like this is also same thing. As the people are not aware, is a bounded duty of the government to do that one. Okay, none can do anything because they know pretty well who is the manufacturer, who is not manufacturer, who is manufacturing what can. So simple inspecting them directly can stop it. So rather than you finding consumer is clear their underhand deal. Okay, is an underhand deal, nothing more than that. Yeah. So these are things which you have to be take into consideration. And anyhow, now the Diwali is there, celebrate happily, but see that all the proper case has to be taken. Okay? Right. Happy Diwali, all of you, and see you after that. Okay? Take care and take care of your health, most important thing. Right. Anyhow, at the same time, you have to, right, when is your preparation also should have these rights.